How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the Crypto Unveiled YouTube channel. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at a cryptocurrency altcoin which I believe has a super promising future ahead of it. Of course, if you guys are new around here, make sure you do hit that subscribe button, and as well as that, like I said in every single one of my videos, of course, guys, this is not financial advice, so make sure you go out and do your own research and come to your own conclusion before investing into any coins or tokens that I mentioned in my videos. With that out of the way, let's get straight into today's video. So like I said, today we're going to be talking about a cryptocurrency altcoin which I believe has a very bright future ahead of it. This coin which we're talking about today is going to be called RNDR, or RNDR for short. You can see the current price of RNDR is currently sitting at just over $11 per RNDR coin, and you will see over the last month RNDR has experienced an absolutely crazy immense amount of growth. You can see it's jumping between 78 to over 90% up in the last month. Of course, this is just a little bit of fluctuation would cause a huge spike up in percentage, but yeah, you can see the amount of growth that RNDR has had over the last month is just absolutely crazy. And this is because, of course, people have started to realize and started to actually clock on to RNDR and realize how much potential RNDR does actually have at the moment, and also, of course, even more potential in the future, and I'll explain more about that in a second here. But if you guys think that over the last month the gains behind RNDR are insane, then if we switch it to a year, you will see that the gains, and if you look at the chart as well, you will see how much more insane the actual chart looks here. You can see, towards the mid to end of 2023, it was sitting around $1.50, and you can see it's almost, well, it's actually over $11 at the moment here. So you can see incredible amount of growth, over 600%, guys, in the last year, and it hasn't even really been a year. Like I said, around $1.50 to $1.70 back in October 2023, and of course we are in March now, so around what's that, about around 5-6 months ish, you will see that is, what's that, about an 8x or around 7-8x from the price it was down here, which is just absolutely crazy to see. If we then go ahead and switch it to all time, you will see how insane the actual chart or the graph looks for RNDR here. You can see back in 2021 bull run, you can see RNDR did actually hit an all-time high of $7, almost $7.80. And then, of course, after the bull run, it did take quite a nosedive down to around 40 to 50 cents. So congratulations for whoever managed to pick RNDR up for this price, because that is absolutely crazy. But then you can see only recently, literally over the last I believe it's actually the last few days actually, it actually went ahead and actually hit an all-time high of around, I believe that's, yeah, over $13 per coin, which is just absolutely crazy. Of course, if we looked over the last week, over the last day or 7 days, you can see it has experienced a little bit of a pullback, but of course this is very, very normal to see and very expected, to be honest with you, because of course not only has RNDR seen some absolutely insane growth over the last week, like I've just said, it has actually hit an all-time high. So a little bit of a pullback is, of course, very much needed and very much expected as well. And I'm sure RNDR is just going to bounce straight back out of this hole, and hopefully in the near future hit another all-time high again. You can see RNDR is, it's a little bit of a more well-established cryptocurrency in terms of market cap compared to other coins that I discussed on this channel. You can see over $4.2 billion in the market cap, which is, it's not an absolutely huge market cap, but like I said, compared to other coins, other altcoins which I discuss on this channel, I tend to discuss the lower market cap coins. This is fairly substantial. However, I do believe that RNDR still does have some absolutely, I wouldn't say insane potential, but it has some good potential. And of course, as well as it having, it might not have insane potential, I would say it's slightly less risky than some of these lower market cap coins, because of course it has the history behind it, it's got the team behind it, and of course it's got a lot higher market cap as well. So this gives it a little bit more security. You might not see, as insane gains, like I've said, compared to small market cap coins, but this is a little bit less risky for all those people who like to diversify into less risky cryptocurrencies. Then RNDR might be one for you. You can see the volume to market cap ratio is around 16.72%, which is a very healthy volume to market cap ratio, and very great to see as well. Current circulating supply of RNDR is currently sitting at just over 380 million coins, with the amount of coins in circulation being around the 71% mark. So this is also also very great to see the people who are invested into Render for the long term aren't going to see huge amounts of dilution into their coins, into their investment as well, which is also very, very nice to see, and always a green flag to see with coins. Let's now jump into the main part of the video, which is of course going to be what actually is Render. So you can see here on the official Render website is rendernetwork.com if you want to come check it out for yourself. But to put it very simply, Render is all about, like the name suggests, it's all about basically 3D rendering, you know, using GPUs to actually render different, you know, I'd say probably art, models, all these different things within the, you know, like virtually. So as you can see here, so they've got distributed GPU rendering on the blockchain. This sums up very, very nicely. They go in a little bit more detail down here. So the Render network provides near unlimited decentralization, decentralized GPU computing power for next generation 3D content creation. And of course, they're talking about 3D content creation in terms of rendering this actual content. See, the Render network is the first decentralized GPU rendering platform. So they've also got that. They've got the world's first decentralized. So that is their sort of unique selling point, and as well as their first mover advantage compared to other coins which might try to hop onto this rendering train. Of course, they've got their first mover advantage, as well as, you know, a very well established market cap, which is going to be very attractive to investors. Empowering artists to scale GPU rendering work on demand to high performance GPU nodes all around the world through a blockchain marketplace idle GPU compute. The network provides artists the ability to scale next generation rendering works at fractions of the cost. So this is one of the big points about it. Why, you know, why people would use this over other services or companies, you know, traditional ways of rendering, is of course one of the main things that basically you know, anyone in the world, not just individuals but companies, everyone always is the biggest factor, and that is of course going to be the cost. So if Render can provide the same services as, like I said, other cryptocurrencies, other companies, other individuals, but at a fraction of the cost, and it's offering the same service, then it's basically a no-brainer that these people are going to use Render's services instead. So another great thing about Render is not only are they all about this sort of 3D content creation rendering, but they're also taking a look into artificial intelligence as well, which of course you guys know AI is the future. It is an absolutely massive talking point at the moment. And many different companies and as well as cryptocurrencies are hopping onto the AI trend because, of course, like I've just said, it is the future. So if they are actually able to get in early now, then, you know, once AI becomes even bigger than it is at the moment, then of course it's going to become even more lucrative for these cryptocurrencies, especially a cryptocurrency such as Render. You can see a few different things, a few different positive points about Render. So you've got great network scalability, which of course scalability I basically always talk about in my cryptocurrencies. Scalability is one of the most important things when we're looking at cryptocurrencies, because it's all well and good at cryptocurrency being, you know, fast and low cost when there are a low amount of users on the network. But what happens if you get a huge influx, a huge surge of users onto the network? Then will that network actually be able to handle it? Will the costs stay the same? So we will, you know, I guess there's only one way to find out, and that is, of course, when Render gets even bigger, but they are claiming to be extremely scalable, which is, of course, a very good thing. Efficient infrastructure as well, digital rights management, and a better use of GPU power as well, of course, because they've got their distributed, decentralized GPU power. It's basically, you know, it's basically cloud computing. It's similar to what Flux does. You know, you guys know that I've discussed Flux, but Flux is more about cloud computing storage, whereas this is actually about, you know, using GPU power to actually render 3D content, as well as also use it for AI as well. Another massive point which I love about Render is, of course, I love the actual whole goal behind Render, but their actual team behind Render as well is incredibly extensive. You can see the amount of people they've actually got on their team. And of course, the main selling point is they are all completely doxed. You can see here they've got their name, they've got their position, and they've got their actual face as well. So this, of course, is showing that they are taking you know, responsibility for the product and for the project, and they are not just going to disappear overnight, because of course this is going to have consequences for them. So this just puts even more trust into Render. And of course, not only have they got a great team, they've also got the history behind Render as well. If we look back on the chart, you can see Render released to the markets in, you know, around mid 2020, and I'm sure that they would have, you know, been actually working on Render even before that. So they've been probably out for a good 5 to 6 years now. So of course, not only is they a great team, great goals, a great project as well, but they've also got the track record to show investors that they are not going anywhere. If we go across to the last part of the video here, which is going to be the Twitter page here and also my personal price prediction, you can see Render has got a fairly, actually quite a good following on their Twitter page here, almost 173,000 followers, and you can see they are extremely active on their Twitter page as well, which is always nice to see as well. Of course, the Twitter page is not a huge thing, but I always like to sort of cover a little bit about the Twitter page to show you guys how big the community behind the coin is as well. So let's actually jump into my personal price prediction for Render. So like I said at the start of the video, you know, Render is a great coin. I really do believe that has a very promising future ahead of it. However, people are going to be saying, I mean, even I have some concerns about the market cap. You know, like I've said, I normally like to cover lower market cap coins because oftentimes they have a lot higher potential with, you know, a lot requiring a lot less money. However, with Render, you know, they have got a fairly substantial, over a $4 billion market cap, which isn't small by any means. However, like I said, I do believe that Render still has a very promising future ahead of it, and is also a great option for people who are looking to invest into altcoin, which is I know I keep saying it, but a altcoin which has a very promising future, but also is a little bit less risky than these very, you know, these micro cap coins. So I believe, my personal price prediction for Render, I believe that we could see at least another 2 to 3x in the year 2024 with Render, just from the fact that they've got great goals, they've got a great team, great track record. They are covering a massive topic, which is of course AI, as well as, you know, GPU rendering, which people need. They've got that first mover advantage over other cryptocurrencies, and so I really do believe that this is just gonna, you know, help boost Render up even more, just from the fact that you know, not only that their technology, but the first mover advantage is so important to so many people. I mean, it's basically one of the main things that makes coins blow up is if they are the first in the market to do it, or, you know, if they've got the biggest market cap, because of course people look for the ones, the original, the OG. You know, think about when people are investing into Bitcoin, a lot of people don't even like the technology behind Bitcoin, they don't even know about it, but because it is the original cryptocurrency, you know, we can say it's about a lot of other cryptocurrencies as well. You know, a lot of cryptocurrencies come out, they are the first to do it, and a lot of people love that. They jump on the trend, and then a lot of other cryptocurrencies, other copies come out, and they don't gain as much traction. So this is what I believe is going to happen with Render. I believe that the market cap behind Render is just going to keep increasing. And, you know, I really do believe that Render has a very great future ahead of it. So yeah, my personal prediction, around 2 to 3x or 200 to 300% in the, or sorry, I should say by the end of 2024. So apart from that, guys, I'd like to thank you very much for watching the video. Make sure you do hit that subscribe button if you are new around here, and also hit that like button if you did enjoy. And apart from that, I'll see you guys in the very next video. Peace.